What's up, boys?
What's going on, bro?
Boys. For those of you watching, that was our fourth time recording that intro. It worked. Guys, these are my best friends. Two of my best friends, childhood best friends from the beach. Hosts of MMA Gossip. You can follow them on Instagram. What is it? MMA Gossip X, I believe.
At MMA X Gossip.
There we go. Follow them on Instagram, guys. They're posting a bunch of good shit. They just had Brendan Allen on their podcast. For those of you who don't know, he's about to be a top 15 middleweight in the UFC. Take me down. I know I talked to you guys a little bit about that today. How'd you guys get Brendan Allen on your podcast? That's the real deal.
So Mike, so me and Mike are on the Instagram. Mike definitely posts more than I do, but me and him are on the Instagram. Chris handles the Twitter. And so when we started, we just really started shooting our shot with a bunch of fighters, giving them like a sales pitch, basically. We recently decided we need to cut that shit short because no one wants to be reading 3 paragraphs. But yeah, we DM'd a bunch of guys, and he was the one that answered. Mike, it's legitimately like Mike wasn't gassing it. It's one of his favorite fighters. So he was all pumped up about it. Yeah, that was his DM. And yeah, man, it just worked out. He was cool about it. He didn't ask for money or anything because, like, I know a lot of people do that shit. He was just being a good dude about it, trying to help out the cause.
Did he answer on the first Instagram message?
Yeah. Damn. And gave Mike his cell phone number to text him about it.
That's dope, dude. That's dope.
Yeah.
Did anybody else answer you guys? You don't have to give me away your secrets if not, but.
Not yet.
No, not yet. But Gary Tonin followed me on Twitter 2 days ago, which is pretty cool.
I love Gary Tonin.
He's the man.
Love Gary Tonin. But anyway, I haven't got to really this is like episode 2.5 of All in All. I gave a UFC 251 preview. I picked all the underdogs in that fight. I do think Holloway got robbed, but we're going to break that fight down. Let's start with the main event on the prelims. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but Jerry, is that first name? Jerry, right?
Yeah.
He was the light heavyweight champ for Rickson, correct?
Rickson.
Is that where Floyd Mayweather fought that dude?
Yes.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Right?
Attention.
Yeah. But, dude, he's the real deal. I thought he was being a little bit of a douchebag at first with all the, like –
No, so he's legit, man. He's a young kid. He came into the UFC with a lot of hype. Like, he had knocked out King Mo Lawal, who's really highly touted over there in Bellator, trains to an American top team, whatever. He's like one of the head guys over there. And he put him away pretty quickly. He's been battle-tested. He's been fighting, like, the who's who, so to speak, in Japan. So the major MMA, mixed martial arts promotions, UFC is obviously cream of the crop, followed by – well, not followed – long way down the list, Bellator – one championship, and Ryzen is right there with PFL as well. And he was doing really well in Ryzen, beating a lot of good guys. Came into the UFC and was fighting Volkan Ozdemir, who not too long ago, about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, fought for the belt. Come in, you make your UFC debut against a past title challenger and made him look stupid, bro. So the hype was real, and I'm looking forward to what he does next, man.
I'm a little biased. I think LFA is up there. I know it's a developmental league, but shout out to my boy Ed Suarez. I think LFA is up there, man. But anyway, let's move on to the next one. I said it all along, guys. I think Paige Van Zant has done nothing in the UFC other than get fake tits and look good.
Did you listen to our podcast? How bad, Chris? How bad that I shred her? Like, dude, I think get her out of here.
Do you think Scott Coker should even take the gamble on her?
Yeah, because it's what, dude. No, 100%. It's what he does, and it's good for their promotion. It's dude. They signed fucking what's his name, Chris? Help me out here. The guy that was literally fighting factory workers. Like he's not even an MMA fighter.
Jack WWE.
Jack Swagger.
Swagger.
The WWE fighter. They bring him in, put him on like. Co-main against dude. He fought a guy that was a factory worker, and he fought another guy that was like he looked like I don't even know, like your drunk, typical drunk uncle.
And the UFC just signed CM Punk.
I mean, yeah, you got me there.
That was almost different because it wasn't, because Jack Swagger actually does have an amateur wrestling background, whereas CM Punk trained at Rufus Sport under Duke Rufus, one of the most highly touted MMA coaches in the world, training alongside of the Pettis brothers, Tyron Woodley, Ben Askren. So and they were legitimately hyping him up. Granted, that was all a hype show, but he did fight so what Matt's getting at here is CM Punk fought very low-level MMA competition, and Mickey Gall is obviously higher than him, and then Mike Jackson, who was legitimately an MMA reporter at one time, whereas Bellator is going to match Paige Van Zandt up against people that she is 100% positively going to beat, and they're going to make her look like a superstar. She'll probably win her next 5 fights in a row. They're going to promote her. She's going to be the main event. They're going to make her look hot on a poster, and they're going to put her against no names that are going to be making $1,000 to show and $1,000 to win, and Paige Van Zandt's going to be making $200,000 just to show, and they're going to promote her in Austin. She's going to be a poster girl, and they're going to do right by her. I'm assuming she's going to Bellator because her UFC contract is now done, and I don't see her coming back.
Dude, you also have to. Yeah, I'm sorry. The Yankees are on right now too. You also have to remember too, dude. Like, I don't know how much you pay attention to Bellator. I think more than half of their female fighters are below 500, and that's not even like a slight at Bellator. They're either 500 or below 500. She will clean because, like, at the end of the day, she's not bad. She's just not really UFC material, and there's no point of having a star like that with hits like that on fucking Fight Pass. It just doesn't make sense from a business perspective. They'll line her up against nobody. She'll be on main cards, make a bunch of money, and that's it.
For those of you who don't know, Chris mentioned Austin. Austin Vanderford is Paige Van Zandt's husband. Also fights in Bellator. Not a bad fighter. Better fighter.
Undefeated.
Fighter. So you think Dana White did a horrible job at promoting Paige, or you think he just got that sick of her?
No, I just think she's not good. She's not good. He promoted the shit out of her.
So the talent in the UFC is much better is what you're saying.
Yeah, like, dude, she just got in the UFC and she was like on Metro PCS commercials and shit, like doing the purple couch and all that before fights. Like, they promoted the hell out of her. Did she ever main event? She was high on cards before.
Yeah.
She main evented and got choked out.
Rose.
But no, that wasn't the main event, though. I don't think when she got choked out. Didn't she get choked out by Michelle Waterson in the main event in Sacramento?
Yeah, brutally, like quick. So, and then
next fight. Anyway, talking about Rose, let's talk about the next fight. Screw Paige Van Zandt. She's not good for her. She's good looking, but Rose. I bet on Andrade. I told Chris this before the fight. Didn't know what state mentally Rose would be in. A year and a half layoff. I think Andrade is just like one of those girls, you knock her down, she's going to get up twice. Like, you know what I mean? She's just a bulldog. And I just thought she was going to come in and clip Rose, and then Rose was going to leave the UFC. Negative outlook on Rose Namajunas. Got proved to be an idiot. She looked phenomenal. Want to hear what you guys think. Don't think she is ready for Zhang Weili. I think she's ready. I don't think she's as good as. I don't think anybody is.
Chris, you go first on this one.
I mean, I think her boxing is legit. Like, she's been her stand-up is legit. Her fiance, Pat Berry, used to fight heavyweight in the UFC, one of the best kickboxers around. Trevor Whitman, who's like one of the greatest minds in MMA, is her head coach. So she's got a lot of good backing behind her. She beat Joanna twice. She was the champion, totally legit champion. She won the belt, and they say you're not the champion until you defend the belt. She won the belt and defended the belt, and then obviously lost to Andrade, avenged her loss to Andrade. I picked Rose Namajunas, so on our podcast, MMA Gossip, we do a one big favorite as a lock. We do 3 picks and an underdog. Rose was one of my picks. I totally saw her winning. The way she was winning their first fight was like so clear cut. The first round was such Rose's round. I saw this fight going that way, and it did for the first 2 rounds. Third round got a little dicey. She did get tagged a little bit, but I mean, who hasn't Andrade tagged? She was able to weather the storm, and she looked in better mental space after the fight than I've ever seen her. So that's it. I do think she's in a good mental space, and I do think she should be next for Weili.
Matt, what do you think?
I mean, like he said, man, that first round pretty much was how the first fight started. The third round got hairy, and like you just said, Kel, I questioned her mental state too, because after that whole fucking Connor threw a dolly at a bus 1,000 years ago, she needed to like see a therapist and shit, and she was just like, I don't know if you know, but she didn't leave her house. It was the weirdest thing ever. She was terrified. So I was like, yo, like, something's not right with this girl. When all this COVID, traveling as far as Abu Dhabi, I was like, you don't know if her head's there. And somebody against Andrade who hits like a dude, and something else that I can't say because we got to be politically correct these days. You don't want to take that risk. But I was all over Rose. We'll see what happens with her next fight. I agree, though. I don't think she would beat Wing Zayli, or however the fuck you say her name.
Yeah, 1-0 for MMA Gossip, 0-1 for All in All so far on 251. But next fight, I did get the Paige Van Zandt fight right, but who didn't? Next fight was Peter Yan versus Jose Aldo. Also bet on Aldo. My mind was if these guys are going to be underdogs, I'm going to get on them. That wasn't necessarily what I was thinking as an MMA mind and a betting mind. I saw the underdog under these under these guys' names. I thought Aldo beat Marias. I believe you guys thought the same thing. And Petr Yan didn't necessarily show me anything. He looked amazing against Uriah Faber, but obviously wasn't Uriah Faber in his prime. So, yeah, I think Petr Yan is the real deal now. I'm excited to see Aljo and him. I fucking love Aljo. Aljo's one of my top 3 favorite fighters. What do you guys think is going to happen in that fight?
Dude, so, Chris, who did you take in that fight? I know I took Yan on the podcast, but ended up taking Aldo.
I took Jan on the podcast. I made my underdog pick. I said to Aldo, like, in my opinion, he was the livest dog on the card, besides Max Holloway, obviously. But I picked Aldo as my dog, but on the podcast, I picked Jan to win.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he looked that second round, Aldo looked alive, but that's the story of Aldo's career. Jan is just a machine, man. Like, he doesn't stop. He's an absolute machine. That being said, I'm telling you now, and I'm not changing this, I'm taking Sterling the second they fight. I'm a huge Sterling fan. I'm biased because we met him in MSG. But I don't think there's a single person on this roster that's more deserving a title shot than Aljo at this point. It's insane. It's like, what does Dana have against him at this point? But I don't know what you do with Aldo next, man. He's never going to have the belt back at this point, especially how fucking late that fight was stopped. Just retire, dude. No, don't take any more damage at this point. Like, you're not getting the belt at any division. 135, 145, it's a wrap. Like, unless he needs money, go start coaching. You know? There's Chris.
The only thing, yeah, I agree too. The only thing that I don't take away anything from that. I just don't think he's retired yet because, like Kale just said, his last fight, besides this, Marlon Moraes, he went 3-round decision in the fight I thought he won, and now he just went with the champion, Petr Yan, who is, the champion for a fucking reason, battle-tested, training at Tiger Muay Thai, fully legit, and he just went into the 5th round with him. And in my opinion, and I think pretty much everyone's opinion, whether you like it or not, that was a 2-2 scorecard going into the 5th round. Though Petr obviously clearly had done significantly more damage, that was 2-2 going to the 5th round. So Aljo can still hang with these guys. I don't know if he wants to be fighting contenders to be a stepping stone. I don't know what his goal is here. So I want him to retire because he's an absolute legend. Him or Max Holloway, 1A, 1B, greatest featherweights of all time. You guys know the story on that. But, yeah, I don't think he's retired just yet.
1A, 1B, but our boy beat them both.
That's exactly why I was laughing.
I'm not saying. I agree with you guys. I do not think he's going to retire because he's only 31. And I just
100 in MMA years. Sorry.
No, I think he's 30. He's 33, I think.
Is he 33? I don't think he's going to retire. I think he's just one of those guys that keeps going. What's your prediction? Assuming Sterling gets the fight, I don't see why I wouldn't. I agree with you, Matt. If he doesn't, Dana White has some against him. What do you think will happen in that fight? Obviously, you picked Sterling. How do you think it will go down?
Outclassed is a strong word because I don't think he outclasses him. I just think he mixes it up more.
Yeah.
You watch every Yan fight, it's the same shit. He's throwing punches down Main Street. He's always walking forward, unlimited gas tank. Aljo he has better kicks. He definitely doesn't have better boxing. Definitely has better kicks. His jits is definitely better. His wrestling's better. I haven't seen Yan do anything else besides box. So I think Aljo's going to go in there and test his MMA. It's not going to be a boxing match, and I give the advantage to Aljo. Jesus Christ.
Chris?
Yeah, I think Jan's going to be coming in as the favorite in that fight, which is going to make me really happy because I'm totally going to be on Aljo's side. Granted, I literally cannot get over my fan bias. I fanboy out for Aljo. I love Aljo so much. New York guy, met him before, like Matt said. So I love him. He is the blackest of black belts on the ground. He is a Sarah Long black belt. He's legit as they come. And we haven't seen Jan there yet, and I do want to see him on the ground. I want to see Jan put in those positions. On the feet, it's not even a question that Petr Yan has better stand-up than Aljo. That's not a question. But Aljo is very long, very rangy, long jabs, long kicks, the whole nine. So I think that if he can keep Yan at distance and get those takedowns and, be a backpack, it would be very, very beneficial to him.
Definitely going to be interesting. I think the longer cage will help Aljo, and I'm not trying to make like excuses or anything, but I do think that plays a factor in it. Also, Aljo always says there's black belts and then there's Matt Serra black belts. So look what he did to Sandhagen, and Sandhagen's a black belt, I believe. So it's going to be interesting. Next fight, Holloway, Volkanovski. I bet on Holloway. I think a lot of America thinks I was right on that one. If you guys didn't see, FanDuel has refunded anyone who has bet on Max Holloway to win outright or by decision. They refunded all bets. Did you hear that, Matt?
I think that's aggressive. I don't think it was that. I think, Chris, we actually agreed. I don't even think it was a robbery. Like, it was close, but it was a lot closer than the media made it seem. Like, the media made it seem like fucking Volkanovski didn't win a round. I think that's aggressive. Maybe because of the whole COVID, the economic troubles, they wanted to give people some money back. But, man, like, Chris, go ahead. I see you want to say something.
Matt said that because he bet on Volkanovski. If Matt bet on Holloway, he'd be like, dude, that was a robbery, 100%. Matt's money talks for him sometimes, although Matt is correct. It was not. In no way, shape, or form is it a robbery. I think that the problem is we had a full-length discussion, like 30 minutes on our podcast about this. It's not – Holloway won the fight, right? Like the fight, Holloway clearly won. He dropped him twice. But with the current scoring system, the 10-9 must system at MMA, whoever won the third round won the fight. Holloway won 1-2 unquestionably. Volkanovski won 4 and 5. Who the fuck won round 3? I thought Max Holloway did. But he, judges saw it the other way. They actually, like, on the scorecards, 2 judges, I think, gave the 5th round to Max and the 3rd round to Volkanovski, which I thought was really weird. But I had it 3-0 Max going into 4, so therefore Max, as long as he didn't get finished, he wins. It definitely was not a robbery, but I do still stand my guns. I've watched that fight about 15 times already over, and I still do think that Holloway took it.
Bags, you kind of look like Volkanovski.
I've actually gotten that before. Hold on. Chris, I thought there was another round that they gave him that everyone – because round 3 was the round in question, no?
Yeah, but they gave – that's what I'm saying. All 3 judges gave 3 to Volkanovski, and I think one of the judges gave Holloway 5.
I thought – didn't a judge give Volkanovski 1?
No way, dude. He got dropped.
Yeah. No, wait, dude.
1 and 2.
No, I just – yeah.
I think he got a takedown in round 2, though.
He got dropped.
Yeah.
Do you think Dana White's going to do fight 3 or no?
No.
No? Who do you think's next for Volkanovski?
I hope the Korean Zombie.
See, I don't know why, though.
What do you mean you don't know why?
Why are you taking Korean Zombie?
Who would you say?
He got knocked out by Yair.
Yeah, and then what has he done since then? He finished Frankie Edgar brutally in his last fight. Huh?
Late notice.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And who else did he beat since then? He won another fight since then. He also was winning that Yair Rodriguez fight up until that point. Granted, he lost.
He knocked the fuck out of Moicano.
Moicano, that's who it was. He knocked Moicano out.
Yeah,
that's who it was. That's what I mean. Bad. He's the most exciting fighter of the 145-pound division. I don't think there's any way around it. He's super promotable ever since he paid his military time. So that's a thing in South Korea. Every man, once you become a man, I'm not sure what the age is, maybe 21, I want to say. Before you turn 30, you owe the military 2 years of service. So he was streaking. He had just fought for the – he was on a tear. Fought Aldo for the belt and lost. This was when Aldo was on steroids, and he was Aldo. And he did his military time, came back, put Dennis Bermudez to sleep. Super exciting, on a tear, super active, which you love to see. And I totally think that Zombie gets it. But who did you have in mind, Kel?
I think Zabit is arguably the most exciting fighter. And I think, honestly, and this sounds crazy, I don't think there's anybody more deserving of it than Calvin Kattar.
I think you got to remember Kattar did lose to Zabit recently. So what I was saying, I think
he's active.
He is, but I think if you want to give it a Zombie, I have no problem with that. But in the meantime, you got to run back Zabit and Kattar for 5 rounds, because if that's a 5-round fight, Cater's winning. He almost knocked him out in that 3rd round. Zabit's gas tank sucks. I want to see Zabit cannot have a title shot without having a 5-round fight yet.
I agree. And also, Brian Ortega needs to get thrown back in there. I feel like everybody's overlooking at Ortega.
I don't know if I'm overlooking Ortega. Ortega lost to Holloway badly and literally went into hiding. Has disappeared. Has been non-existent.
He tore his ACL. He was supposed to fight Korean Zombie and then tore his ACL.
Yeah, and then pulled. Yeah,
COVID.
exactly. He pulled out of a fight before that. Then they were supposed to fight. Then he got injured. Was supposed to make a comeback. Now he's not signing the contract.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I don't know what to tell you, Brian Ortega. You're not getting a title shot again. You got brutalized in your last fight. Holloway, who you lost to, has already fought 3 times since. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think he'll work his way back up to a title shot, or I think he will make his way to 155 in the next coming years. I think he went through some shit. I don't know if he went through some shit with Henner, but I think he went through some shit with his camp or something happened.
He changed camps, but now, or not changed camps, rather, changed coaches. But with that being said, too, now that I think about it, Holloway fought 4 times since they fought.
Edgar.
Poirier and Volkanovski twice.
Yeah.
So you got to get back in there, dude. And Cater, like you said, Kel, I'm totally with you. I'm with Matt, where Zabit needs to fight a 5-round fight because his gas tank is ass. I would favor Holloway, Cater in 5 rounds, and the Korean Zombie over Zabit in a 5-round fight.
Same.
What about Yair?
I would pick Zabit.
Yeah, I would too.
A lot of do you think that division is better than 155?
No.
Especially if Connor's active, like that fucking division's Shark Tank. Dude, you have so many guys at 155. Like, Chris, who were we just talking about literally yesterday? I brought him up that I wanted to shoot him a message, and then all of us were like, oh yeah, like, who the fuck was it?
155?
Yeah. I don't even remember. I'm sorry. I'm like stalling. I'm pulling up. Oh, he just broke into 155. You know, I want to say, I don't think he's going to be fighting for a title shot.
Good looking kid, dude. The kid that trains with Whitman and Gaethje. He just beat Alex Hernandez. Is that who you're talking about?
Drew Dober.
Yeah.
I love Drew. I'm such a big Dober fan. I think he can make some noise inside the top 10, man. His style is very tough to deal with.
I'm such a Hernandez hater.
I hate Hernandez.
Not Aaron.
Alex.
I hate
Aaron's dead as fuck.
I know. I hate Alex. The reason why is because he talked shit after Conor beat Cowboy up, and he got brutalized by Cowboy. Like,
dude, yeah, that was the most ridiculous thing to me. He's like, yeah, even though Cowboy beat the brakes off me, he got beat up by Conor, so he doesn't owe me. He doesn't owe me anything anymore. I'm like, dude, shut up.
We were there live. That was bad. Bad.
All right. Running out of time. We've removed the 40-minute time limit on your group meeting. Love it. Thanks, dude. I got a gift from Zoom. Much love, Zoom. Shout out Zoom. Let's go to the main event. UFC 251. Took it on 6 days' notice. Game bred, Jorge Masvidal. We all love him. Chris, you called it from the beginning. You said there's no way Jorge Masvidal wins this fight. Obviously, I said there's a puncher's chance. I bet on Jorge Masvidal by knockout at plus 450. Who wouldn't? I thought Masvidal didn't look bad. I think Kamaru Usman is shaping out to be the Floyd Mayweather of MMA, and I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way. I just think he's so overpowering, and he has a style that kind of like Khabib. He ain't going to necessarily knock you out every time, but he's going to grind it out, and he's going to kick your ass over a long period of time, and it's going to suck. That's how I feel.
What do you mean by like Mayweather? Like it's just his style is boring?
Yeah, it's boring. It's boring. No one's going to tune in and watch Kamaru Usman fight. That fight card doesn't do 1.3 million buys at Usman versus Gilbert Burns. It does it with Masvidal, but Usman is the real deal. And I was telling everybody, Chris, I took this from you. Everyone was like, "Oh, everyone's on the Masvidal hype train." I love Masvidal. I almost bought his documentary series today for $14 on JorgeMasvidal.com. But people don't realize, man, he has 15 losses. He's been around forever. He's been around as long as Nick Diaz. He didn't just come onto the scene. Nick Diaz, there he is, boy. Stockton, motherfucker. But anyway, you guys gave me your thoughts. I agreed with you. I thought Usman was going to win the fight. I bet with my heart, and I bet with my eyes, obviously.
I mean, yeah, I never thought at one point in time he was going to lose that fight. My gripe was exactly what you just said, bro. Like, he was all that animosity. They had that exchange a couple months ago with, of course, Ali. You know, what else is fucking new? All the shit talking. And he stomps on his foot for 5 rounds. Like, I wanted to see more, but I get it. Like, it's a title fight. This is what I'm going to do. And Chris, you said this. This is what I'm going to do. Stop me. and Masvidal couldn't stop him. You know, it's a fight. Masvidal couldn't get off the cage. It was clear, though, that Usman didn't want to be striking with him. Look at the Colby fight. That was one of the best fights I've ever seen. Absolute brawl. He had no problem standing with Colby because he didn't really fear what Colby was throwing back at him. He clearly had different feelings about Masvidal. And you know what? It tells a lot. I don't think that fight would ever play out differently 10 times out of 10. Maybe once if, you know, puncher's chance. But, like, Masvidal's asking for a rematch. I don't see it. No shot.
No. In no way should there be a rematch of that fight. Never should there be a rematch.
So that leads me to my next question. What do you think's next for Masvidal? I thought they would make it Covington. If not Covington, I think Edwards.
So I'll take this one. I think that they want to keep the Masvidal train going. His star didn't diminish per se from that by any means. He's still a big draw. He still has a lot of height. It definitely isn't shining as bright. It definitely took a little bit of a hit, a little bit. I think he's still up there, and they want to ride that wave. I don't think McGregor's going to take that fight. Excuse me. I could see them going with the Nate Diaz rematch, you know, potentially to keep that star there. Leon Edwards they could go with if they really push that Minnesota. Yeah, that would be ideal. You know what I mean? Like, if they really push that, they can make that a really good scrap. Covington, there's a lot of backstory there, but Masvidal seems really, 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 really against that fight. Like, he doesn't want to – he just has no interest in doing that. So I'm curious to see where they go from here. It's looking like Tyron Woodley is going to get and Covington are going to go at it. So I think that the only way to go would be the Leon Edwards fight. And, you know, me as a diehard, it's hard to gauge sometimes. Like, for example, I'm sorry to ramble here. I know when there's a big fight, per se, because a lot of my friends who don't watch MMA text me. Like last week, you know how many people were texting me like, who's this guy Masvidal's fighting? Should I bet on Masvidal? Oh, the champion, you mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, who's
undefeated.
That guy? He's undefeated in the UFC. Yeah, undefeated in the UFC, the champion of the division. That's who he's fighting, and he's going to lose, FYI. Yeah. So, Masvidal definitely has a lot of star power, so I don't know if he wants to take, you know, like another Nate Diaz fight to keep the star power, because Leon Edwards is not a good matchup for him.
Dude, that would be a dog fight. I don't know who wins that fight. Leon Edwards is a dog. That would be a dog fight.
I would love that fight.
I think Masvidal beats the shit out of Nate Diaz again. Love Nate Diaz. I don't think Nate Diaz is a better fighter than Jorge Masvidal. What do you guys think's up with Tyron Woodley? Apparently Covington signed the bout. Woodley's been bitching for. I'm not a huge Woodley fan. I said this after he fought Gilbert Burns. What's his thing?
I think he's toast, man. I think his run's over. I don't think his heart's in it. Like, the last two fights, he's been exposed in a way that doesn't make sense if you consider his style over the course of his career. Like, getting dropped on his ass consistently by Burns and Usman. Like, he was always the wrestler. I don't know. It's just something weird about him. I don't know what happened. People forget, as chiseled as he is and as young as he looks, he's pushing 40. He might already be – he's either 40 or 39.
38.
Okay, yeah. He's up there, dude. And he's not – in MMA years, he's not young either. No. So it could just be the end of the road for him. Like, there might not be this crazy rhyme or reason to it.
Chris, what do you think? I was sitting with you for the Burns fight. I think we said that he should go to 185. I don't know if you still feel that way.
I think that 185 could be a new – he's small, so he's short. He's not small. He's fucking gigantic, but he would be a little undersized in the 185-pound division. But I think it might be able to give him a fresh start because he's never getting the belt back at 170. After these past two performances, he would need to put on a string of like 3 wins just to get back to the chance to fight for the belt, which isn't going to happen. If he got that chance and fought for the belt, he wouldn't win. He literally can't beat Usman. I think that if he fights Covington next, I think Covington just puts that pressure on him and shuts his ass down. And if he loses to Covington embarrassingly, if he's either going to get stopped or another embarrassing 5-round decision. If he lost a 5-round decision the way he did, that'd be 15 rounds in a row that he got embarrassed, and that would be the end of the road for Tyron Woodley. But he's another one of these guys, Strikeforce vet, knocking out guys like Jake Heron and fucking fighting Jake Shields. And he was trying to fight Nick Diaz back in Strikeforce, you know, before anyone knew, before the UFC owned Strikeforce. That's how long Tyron Woodley's been around. Like we said, to show him in MMA years. I don't see the Tyron Woodley that knocked Robbie Lawler out coming back ever.
Dude, remember what he did to Koscheck?
Dude.
Yeah.
That hurts me watching that, dude. That was almost like a Garbrandt where he's just like came from the fucking hip, dude. All right, guys, I want to move forward since I don't know how long my free trial with Zoom's gonna last, but let's just talk about our boy Joey Benavidez. Love Joey B, man. Got fucking smoked. Thank God he's going home to Megan O'Leary, dude, because he got dusted.
I'm so happy we're doing this right now because it's all like so fresh in my head because we just talked about this. So I said that that was the most dominant title performance in recent memory, and the only ones that come to mind are McGregor and Eddie and Holly Holm and Ronda. Like Joe
McGregor Aldo.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I forgot that was for the title. You're right. I should have mentioned that on our fucking podcast. So, yeah, Connor's in there twice. But, dude, like, holy shit. He ran through him like a knife through butter. Like I'm super impressed, and I don't know who challenges him in that division. Like, Pantoja was on that card to fight for the belt. If something happened to one of them, Pantoja was gassed in the third round against whatever. Who did he fight? Askarov. I knew it was. I couldn't pronounce his Russian ass name. Askarov. Like, and I just look at that division, and 125's always been weak to begin with, so I don't see who gives this guy a run for his money. I just wish that they had a more promotable person to bring back that division because it's not him. As good as he is, and he's fucking good, he doesn't hit like a 125er at all. He's not bringing life back to 125.
I think the only hope is Garbrandt coming down. That's the only hope of a flyweight division, which I see.
Can he make
Chris,
that?
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know, dude. He keeps saying that he can get down, but
I'm not shaking my head because I don't think he can. I think Garbrandt totally can. He makes weight very, very easily. I have no interest in seeing Garbrandt fight Deiveson Figueiredo at 125. And if Garbrandt dropped 125 and this materialized and he lost, that would be devastating.
I think it's
Garbrandt.
Yeah, at 125 too.
I thought you meant for a second you couldn't hear me. I was like, oh shit, make sure this thing's on.
Not again.
I think it's chin.
But yeah, that would be really devastating. Like, I don't want to see Garbrandt do that. Garbrandt, he could go a lot of directions if we're on the Garbrandt train right now. I could see him, like, if Sean O'Malley really fucking embarrasses Marlon Vera, I could see that fight materializing. I think Sean O'Malley needs one more after Marlon to get to a Garbrandt, but we shall see.
He's talking a lot of shit. I love Sean O'Malley. Talking a lot of shit right now. He does it. If I was Garbrandt, I would take that fight. Big name, catapult both of them to a title shot.
That's a huge jump in competition for Sugar, though, dude. Like, even after Cheeto, if he makes quicker, there's levels, and that's like here to up here. You're talking about a guy that beat Dominic Cruz convincingly. I mean, it is what it is with TJ, but, he dropped him, so whatever.
I said this before for the second TJ fight, I think. I always play devil's advocate just to bother Matt, but Garbrandt beat a Sun Sao who right now at 135, that was the best matchup they could possibly give Garbrandt. Sun Sao's over the hill. He's not beating anyone in the heap of the division. He's always passed over for title shots because they set him up for people like this. Before that, he lost to Pedro Munoz. He lost badly. TJ Dillashaw, badly. TJ Dillashaw, badly. Beat Dominic Cruz in the performance of a lifetime. I could never take away anything. That was like when you say you show up to a fight, and Dominic Cruz was 100% there. He's literally coming off a TJ Dillashaw win. That was an incredible performance. But before that, I think his last fight was Takeya Mitsugaki.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude. You get a title shot by beating Takeya Mitsugaki. So I'm not saying that Garbrandt isn't in the heap of the division, but I definitely, like, right now they're saying Garbrandt's going to fight Marlon Moraes. I'll be like, eesh.
I would like to see that fight, though, man. Honestly, Marlon to me shows no heart, and he fades. He's dangerous early and often, and it's very early, and it's very often, very, very often. But still, man, like he has his.
That sounds like Cody to me.
Cody could go 5. I don't think he.
I know Cody could go 5, but
he doesn't fade.
Anytime he's faced adversity, he gets his ass knocked out.
I don't think him and Moraes will fight. They both train with Mark Henry.
Marlon Moraes doesn't train there anymore.
Yeah, he moved.
Where'd he move?
ATT.
I had something really good to say. I forget what it was. Anyway, all right. What the fuck was I gonna say?
How handsome we are.
Yeah. No,
No, but for real, Kale, I want to say something. Thank you for fucking having us, dude. This is cool. I appreciate it, bro. Big time.
I was
When
going
you
to say
blow up.
something about along the lines of Instagram. What the fuck? I don't know. I'll think of it. Anyway, let's move on to this weekend. For those of you watching, you can check out the MMA X Gossip Instagram page. You guys posted some really cool bios about Robert Whittaker and Darren Till. Very detailed bios about their career and everything like that. It was, for those of you who don't know, it'd be really good to read for this upcoming fight. So I don't want to break down the whole card because we're running out of time here, but what are your thoughts on the main event? Let's go. I want to do the main event, and then I want to do the Gustafsson fight.
Yep, no problem. So dude, this fight is going to be so hard for me to watch. Both of these guys in my top 5 favorite fighters. Like, I've been on the Whittaker train for years. I got on the Whittaker train directly after I got on the Conor train, which was a long fucking time ago. Darren Till, the same thing since day one. I love him on the mic. I love how the whole city of Liverpool's behind him. I think that's so fucking cool. I love how he outpointed Wonderboy. Like, everything about Darren Till I love. I love his style. I love his power. I love everything. That being said, I think that this is another bad matchup for Whittaker. I think you're just facing a better striker. Chris said it perfectly in the last podcast, quoting, who did you quote again?
Dan Hardy.
Dan Hardy. Yeah, he's a great fighter at the basics. He doesn't do anything crazy and nothing out of the box, but he's great at what he does. And what he does is he knows he's a sniper, dude. He's an absolute sniper. Like, I'm not saying easy level, but it's up there. And I just think a guy like that gives somebody like Whittaker trouble. Like, Whittaker relies on being explosive, big punches. Till will sit back all day and pick you apart, and that's exactly what you saw Izzy do to him. And I think that he takes this fight. I don't want to say it's going to be easy, but I think you see levels to striking in this fight.
I agree with you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy. Just to play devil's advocate here, the only thing, so me, on our podcast, I played devil's advocate because Mike and Matt both took Till. I said Whittaker, being that Whittaker is significantly more battle tested, and I think when they're in the cage, I think Till is going to, or Whittaker, is going to look bigger. I think Till might have like an inch height advantage, but I think that Whittaker is going to look big. Like, against Yoel Romero, Whittaker didn't look small, which is insane. Yeah. Whittaker's a big, thick boy. He's fought Romero for 10 rounds. Becoming champ, he shut down Jacare, put Derek Brunson's lights out. Like, he's been through the ringer, and I don't think Till's been through that ringer yet. I think when he went through a little bit of the ringer, fought Woodley, he got dropped and subbed, got put out against Masvidal, and then outpointed Gastelum. Granted, one thing, but devil's advocate to myself, although I am picking Whittaker, people have been saying that Till only fought a welterweight that couldn't make weight, so it fought an ex-welterweight at middleweight, but Robert Whittaker is an ex-welterweight fighting at middleweight. Granted, he's the champion. I did say on our podcast, I wish I could see Whittaker fight one more time in between this just to know where he's at. Like I said, him being so battle tested is either going to be the reason he wins or absolutely detrimental. He's either going to use his experience and shut Till out over 5 rounds, especially if he implements any type of wrestling, or Till's going to put one big left hand on the chin, and that's going to be all she wrote.
I love Robert Whittaker. I'm with you, Matt. I love both these guys. I think Darren Till is fucking hilarious. But I think Whittaker, and I'm not saying this disrespectfully, like, obviously he'd kick my ass fucking any day of the week. I think he's kind of sloppy. I think he kind of like, I watched the post UFC made today about his finishes, or his like last 5 finishes, and like none of them to me were clean, sharp KOs. And not that matters, but I think, like you said, Matt, I think there's going to be levels of striking. I think it's going to be interesting if Whittaker doesn't go blitzing him and maybe tries to wrestle and sets up angles to wrestle. I think it'll be very interesting. But I think if they stay standing, you're going to see levels.
So I feel what you mean about Whittaker, and honestly, I think it just might be something with his body type and athleticism. I think a better word for it would be he looks kind of clunky when he's striking. Like, there's no basis to what he's doing. He just explodes. It's all hooks. He doesn't throw many straight punches. He throws kicks from weird angles. Like the kick he knocked out Jacare with, he threw like a right hook, and then on the follow through the hook came with the kick from behind and caught him on the chin, it was sick. It's creative, but it's just like, it's not technical. You know, it's exactly what we saw against Izzy and I think you're going to see against Till. These guys they're technicians at what they do, and as explosive and powerful as Whitaker is, he's not a technician with his striking.
I agree with you. What I wanted to say before I finally realized what I wanted to say for everybody, and I love Jorge Masvidal. Like I said, almost bought his documentary today. We were talking about Rafael Assunção. Assunção beat Masvidal. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, back in, I think, Bodog or something like a long time ago. No, I think it was at 55.
55.
Assunção used to fight at 55. He beat Owen Roddy, McGregor's striking coach, at 55 way back in the day as well. Assunção's been through the ringer. That's what I'm saying. Think about it that way. That's what I'm saying. When a Garbrandt beat Assunção, that's literally not impressive to me at all.
Yeah. But everyone, like, people love Masvidal. Can't say it enough. People get on the Masvidal train. You have to realize a top 6-7 bantamweight now beat Masvidal at one point in time.
That's
which
so
is
crazy.
think about. It's awesome what Jorge Masvidal has achieved. But all right, guys. That's all I really want to talk about with UFC. I'm going to wrap this up here soon. What do you guys think about the current state of the world? Our boy Joe Rogan and Brendan Schaub are moving out of LA. They're moving to Texas. We got one of our best friend Mark. He lives in LA. Like, what do you guys think about all that shit?
Dude, I don't fucking blame them. For as much money as they make, you want to be under that. Like, I'm not trying to get political on here, but I don't want to be in a fucking state where Nancy Pelosi has a say in anything. Making that much money, like, it's very public how much money Rogan's saving by moving. And Texas, having been to Texas, it's awesome. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna look for jobs there at some point. I want to stay in sports. There's fucking more sports teams in one city than there is in our area. Like, you know, so it's an awesome city. Fuck California, man. Like, as sick as it is, great weather and like the whole nine. I don't know. Just the current state of the world. If you asked me a year ago, I'd be like, oh, I would love to live in San Diego at some point. But now just seeing the way the world is trending, changing my tune a little bit. And as for this whole COVID thing, I'm fucking sick of it. I think it's over with. It's all political at this point. Dude, Chris, I don't know if you saw. So Murphy got caught in a lie. I'm done getting political after this. It's all to you, Chris. Murphy got caught in a lie that he wasn't able to back up. You know how he puts out that picture and it's like deaths, sicknesses, and now he has this new bullshit. It's probable deaths. He got caught by the media putting out the same numbers twice. It came out that in the month of July in New Jersey, one person has died. And his mouth to God's ears, direct quote, in July, one person died from COVID, yet you have businesses that can't open, gyms aren't open, restaurants can't do business inside, and you're killing thousands of families for fucking what? You know, don't turn on the news. Use your own head and put your own thoughts together, because the more they watch the news, the more brainwashed you're going to be. Chris, go ahead. I'm done ranting.
All in all, listeners, do me a favor. Take out your cell phones. Type in any 3-digit number followed by, what is it, new cases. Any 3-digit number. You can do it right now, okay, live. Type in any 3-digit number and type in new cases. And there's going to be
Google, right?
Go on Google and type in any 3-digit number.
I typed in 777, and new cases is the second thing that comes up.
There you go. And what does it say? I bet you
777 new cases of coronavirus announced. This is Orlando for Florida.
Type
South
any
Carolina.
number. Type a different number. Any number you type in will come up because it's all fit. It's literally search generated, dude. Whatever the fuck number you type in, it's going to come up.
New cases of coronavirus.
Yeah. Type in any fucking number.
Yep.
So
dude, Matt, that picture you posted on your story the other day where it said it was the truck about how morbid deaths or blah, 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 and it was the fucking people were wearing winter coats and the leaves were off the trees. And they said it was in Arizona.
Not only in July, what point in time are people in Texas wearing winter coats and their trees dead? At least try. Like, at least put some effort forth.
Do better, CBS. Seriously. All right, boys, I'm going to wrap it up. Last couple things here. Shout out to my boy Nate Levan. He's making these hats. You can get any patch that you want. Send it to him. He'll sew it, glue it. Not really sure what he does. Puts a special sauce on it. I don't know, but he'll make you a hat. Shout out to my girl, Haley Schwalm. She got these plant hangers. She's doing a good thing for a cause of hers. So get a hold of her on Instagram. And once again, follow my boys, Matt, Chris. Mikey couldn't be on the show tonight. MMA Gossip, correct? on Instagram. They're doing good things. They got UFC fighters coming on, everything like that. You can follow their personal accounts, Chris Viverito, Matt Baggs. Can't thank you guys enough for coming on. Episode 2.5 in the books. Look forward to having you guys on here soon.
Thank you, bro.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it, bro.
Much love. See you Sunday.
For sure.
Peace, boys.